не нужно доводить до конструктивном ключе и не стал чинить никаких препятствий. Не будут предпринимать попыток за счет провокации использовать конфликт сорвать завершающийся процесс. Кстати, с приходом новой администрации США
most of them, I would say, a couple of big ones that we haven't quite got there, but we've got some good ones. So there's no deal until there's a deal. I will call up NATO in a little while. I will call up the various people that I think they've led to. They'll have to go to our president, Zelensky, and we'll talk to those people. So it's ultimately up to them to agree with what Marco and Steve and some of the big people from the Trump administration, President Scott, John, thank you very much. With some of our really great leaders that have done a phenomenal job. We also have some tremendous Russian business representatives here. Everybody who wants to deal with us, we become the highest country anywhere in the world in a very short period of time. We look forward to that. We look forward to doing it. We're going to try and get this over with. We really made some great progress today. I've always had a fantastic relationship with President Vladimir. We've had many tough meetings we were interfered with by the Russia hoax that made it a little bit tougher to deal with, but he understood it. I think he's probably seen things like that during the course of his career. He's seen it all. But we had to put up with the Russia hoax. He knew it was a hoax, and I knew it was a hoax. But what was done was very criminal, but it made it harder for us to deal as a country in terms of the business and all of the things that we'd like to have dealt with. But we'll have a good chance when this is over. So just to put it very quickly, I'm going to start making a few phone calls and tell them what happened. But we had an extremely productive meeting, and many points were agreed to. There are just a very few that are left. Some are not that significant. One is probably the most significant, but we have a very good chance of getting there. We didn't get there, but we have a very good chance of getting there. I would like to thank President Putin and the entire team, whose faces, who I know in many cases, other than that, whose faces I get to see all the time in the newspapers. You're almost as famous as the boss, but especially this one right up here. But we had some good meetings over the years, right? Good productive meetings over the years, and we hope to have that in the future. But let's do the most productive one right now. We're going to stop really 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, thousands of people a week from meeting.
President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky say they will meet Monday at the White House. The news coming hours after Trump